Hey, welcome to Cheap Shot News. This is episode, you know what? I'm not sure. Thanks for showing up, anyways, though. We're professionals here, right? Definitely. I appreciate you watching because obviously I'm good at what I do. Anyways, thanks for coming by. I'm Zach. If you're not familiar with us, I'm going to touch on some news topics that I found intriguing throughout the week or stuff that specifically was making headlines or things like that. Going to touch on a lot of movie trailers this week. If you don't know as well, we talk a lot about nerdy stuff. So, nerdy movie stuff, not like good movie stuff, but robots and superheroes and things. Anyways, moving on. So, first topic, the Mummy trailer. So, if you guys didn't know, apparently Universal is trying to pull a Marvel or Star Wars on us, and they're going to do kind of a conjoined movie universe with all their old school movie monsters, such as the Mummy, which I'm going to discuss, and Frankenstein, and the Wolfman, and the Invisible Man, and different things like that. But we'll get into that in a second. Below, I have linked a trailer for the new Mummy movie starring none other than why don't I just mumble through the entire thing? None other than Tom Cruise. So have you guys seen a Tom Cruise movie? Oh, good, you have. Then you've probably seen the Mummy movie based on the trailer. It looks like he's going to run around and fight people, and instead of fighting actual people and things, I should say, he's going to fight a mummy, I guess. So there's basically in the trailer is almost entirely just one scene of they have the sarcophagus or the tomb, or what do mummies go in? Google it, I guess. And it's on a plane and crazy stuff happens. The plane crashes and Tom Cruise is yelling a lot. So, I mean, it pretty much, like I said, it looks like the Mission Impossible movies except with a mummy, which makes me not ridiculously excited for, but excited enough for, because pretty much every action movie Tom Cruise has been in the last 15 years I've enjoyed. Seriously. All the Mission Impossibles except for Mission Impossible 2, that movie was crap. Then Edge of Tomorrow, one of my favorite movies in recent memory, and Oblivion, that was solid. What else? Jack Reacher, the first one at least, haven't seen the second one. First one was good. So all those things. Like I was saying before I went into the topic of that, and again, you can link the movie or the trailer below. Just finish watching me first, please. Thank you. What I like is that they're trying to expand this, and it looks like they're trying to do a good job instead of like the Benicio del Toro Wolf movie from like 2010, and they're just kind of mixing and matching and just throwing it back occasionally. These are some of the most remade and remastered and rethought out movies that have ever been made. These old school monster movies from like the 30s when they first came out. But they're trying to do it again, and it's going to be set more modern, obviously. If there's a plane, wait, they had planes in the 30s? Come on, Zach, know your history. A modern plane, AC-130 business, stuff like that. Anyways, modernize it, do it well, and conjoin it well. I've heard that it's going to be, a conjoined universe, but it may never come together like the Avengers. Like, I don't think you're going to see like Wolfman and Frankenstein fighting other monsters. Aliens? I don't know. I don't know what you'd do with that, but it looks cool. And there's some different things coming up. Johnny Depp is attached to an Invisible Man movie. I'm assuming he's going to be invisible. I mean, he's creepy, so why not make him invisible? That seems plausible to me, so why not? What I really like is Russell Crowe's in this as well. He's going to be Dr. Jekyll. Yes, that Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Henry Jekyll. So hopefully at some point in time in the future, we see Mr. Hyde break loose as well. I also am interested in this movie just because I liked the Mummy movies from back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Pretty much the only thing of Brendan Fraser's that I find watchable. So those movies were good action, they were funny, and I like them. So not super stoked, it's not at the top of my list, but I am interested. The big one, though. The big one. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 broke the internet this last week. They literally beat out basically Marvel's own record for the most watched trailer over a week or over a weekend or something like that. And they did it with you guessed it, if you've seen it. If you haven't, again, link below. They did it with Groot. He's a baby tree monster, guys. He's more adorable than a kitten sleeping on top of a puppy. It is ridiculous, and it's funny. And for the people expecting, oh, we're gonna see, we'll maybe see a tease of Kurt Russell or something, or we're gonna see the new villain. Nope. We're just gonna laugh a lot. It's gonna be funny. The first one was one of my favorite Marvel movies. It probably comes in like second or third. Actually, right off the top, it's hard to say. It goes Civil War, Winter Soldier, and Guardians are like my top three. And then Ant-Man is around there. And then I don't know what happens after that. So, super excited about that. It's just been awesome to see this develop into a movie that, from the original Guardians of the Galaxy, that I really didn't know anything about, to being the most anticipated movie for me of 2017 at this point in time. Now, Star Wars might dethrone that at some point in time when I see that first trailer, but right now it's Guardians Volume 2. Just love the trailer. It's great. It got me so excited because they don't really spoil anything. What they spoil is that it's going to be funny, which isn't a spoiler because we knew that, at least based on the first one. I think we all knew that. It was awesome to see Rocket struggle as a parent of this baby tree monster. So I'm super excited. I think based on viewership of the trailer, you guys are too. Comment below, what do you think? Baby Groot, legitimately the best thing that's happened in 2016. That might be an overstatement, but you get what I'm saying. And finally, for trailers, Transformers: The Last Night trailer came out. I think that was actually yesterday. Again, link below. Watch me first. Pull it up secondary. Okay. And it's a Transformers movie. It's the fifth one. It's the fifth Transformers movie. And honestly, just I haven't been a big Michael Bay fan since about The Island, so I'm just not super interested anymore. Yeah, stuff explodes. That's cool, man. Yeah, do really fast capturing of fighting, but you can't really tell what's going on. I understand that he's done a lot for cinema. Same with like James Cameron, done a lot for cinema and how we film and stuff like that. Kudos. Just, I'll see it, but I just don't care that much. We've seen it before. The only thing that's interesting and the only thing that people are really talking about is what's the deal with Prime fighting Bumblebee towards the end of the trailer. And from the synopsises that I found about the movie is Prime was ejected into space. Honestly, I don't even know what happened in the last few movies, so I can't even say for sure. I've seen them all, but I'm having a hard time remembering. They're just kind of all mixing together in my mind. So Prime's floating around in space. Somehow he comes across Cybertron, which is the home planet of the Autobots and Decepticons and the robot machine people. And he finds out that Cybertron the planet is dead. And the only way to restart the planet is an artifact that, of course, is found on Earth. So he's got to come back to Earth. He probably has to do some stuff. Bumblebee tries to protect the humans, and Bumblebee gets smacked around a little bit by Prime. That's the only thing I can tell. Honestly, I can't say for certain that I'll go see this one. I don't know for sure. We'll see what happens. So, moving forward, how much time? What am I doing here? Sorry. Checking out time. Doing pretty well, if you guys wanted to know. Anyways, moving forward, this one was interesting. It crosses over kind of two areas of interest for me. Conor McGregor is going to be in Game of Thrones, at least appear. It seems like 2 episodes within the next 2 seasons. Could be more than that. Super interesting. So everyone's favorite UFC fighter and Floyd Mayweather antagonist is going to be making an appearance in our favorite TV show. And I think this works out well for him just because he is a fighter. And yeah, so I'm excited for that. In the link below is an article from Bleacher Report, and that is actually got some information in it. But the cool thing about that is it's got a link to a video, or there's a video in there that shows Conor McGregor sparring with the Mountain. So it's gonna be interesting. I wonder if that's gonna play over into Game of Thrones. I mean, the mountain really doesn't exist anymore in the fashion of living, I guess. But that was kind of cool for me to see. These type of things kind of bother me typically, but I think it actually works well that he's Irish. And it says in here, who put in the notes for me to do an Irish accent? Damn it, guys. You know I can't do Irish accents. Or just any. Just Conor McGregor. Seriously, come on. Write things that I can do, guys. Seriously. All right, anyways, hopefully he fights the mountain. I'm done with this. So, moving on. Netflix recently announced that it's going to allow downloads so you can watch stuff offline. Now, I probably should have done a little more research on this. I didn't do a ton because I don't know if there's going to be expiration dates on it or anything. But the funny thing was, after years and years of saying they would never allow offline downloads, Netflix has flipped like a bunch of pogs in middle school. Boom! Got it! The 90s reference. I think that's going to be a thing now. I'm going to have to put it in there every single time. You guys remember pogs? Let's bring those back. I had an awesome slammer. It was like that thick. It was a beast. Love that stuff. So, after deciding that they weren't going to do it, basically this comes down to, from what I have heard, is competition. Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO Go, specifically Amazon Prime, allows downloading. Now, the entire Netflix online library you cannot download, but from what I've seen, pretty much all their originals you can download, and there's several movies that you can download, and they're going to continue to expand that and roll that out. So anything that you see with the little downward arrow with the little line underneath of it, either on your phone, laptop, computer, you can download. So I don't know why you download it onto a desktop, especially if you're hard-lined in. I mean, I guess unless the power went out or something. But this is kind of the point, though, is it's a cool little novelty. It's a cool little gimmick. But I don't think it's really worth much, because in our 4G world, where we're ever expending 4G, you pretty much can watch shows anywhere. I mean, I guess if you had it on your laptop and you didn't want to, hook up to Wi-Fi, or you couldn't hook up to Wi-Fi, but you can, if you have a smartphone, you can pull that up basically anywhere. I mean, this comes down to me. This seems like it'd be extremely handy when you're backpacking through the Rockies and you realize, you know what? Outdoors just kind of sucks. So I'm going to go back to binge watching my favorite show. Actually, that sounds kind of awesome. Binge watching my favorite show while in the Rockies with a little fire in front of you. Yeah, that sounds great. So, like I was saying, in an expanding 4G world, it's something that I think they had to do, but at the same time isn't going to be super useful. I mean, when I can pull 4G in the basement of my mother's house in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota, literally the closest gas station is 10 miles away, like, you can understand that I would be a little skeptical in that regard. I can watch, play video games, surf the web in my mom's basement. So, cool. If you disagree with me, please tell me. Please tell me I'm an idiot. I would appreciate it, actually. I don't get enough of that. My ego's a little too high recently, guys. So, let me know. Let me know what you think. If you think it's amazing, maybe you have a job that you don't have Wi-Fi connection, or that you don't want to use your data, so you'll download it. I mean, that seems plausible, actually. Way to turn on it, Zach. Nice. So as always, let's move into quick shots, just kind of things to wrap up the show. Going to be a little short today, it looks like. Maybe I can find something else to talk about. Anyways, these are just kind of things that, don't really need a whole lot of elaboration on. So, Aquaman release date, October 5th, 2018. Honestly, I don't really have a whole lot more to say about that. I'm excited. Seems like Khal Drogo is going to be a pretty cool ocean king, sea king. Anyways, I doubt they'll call him Khal. He'll probably be called Aquaman or whatever his name is. I feel like I should know that. Man, do I do a YouTube channel about nerdy stuff and not know the name of Aquaman? Fail. Anyway, so that's cool. Looking forward to that. He looks pretty BA in the Justice League trailers, so excited. And also, Luke Cage Season 2 was announced via Netflix's Twitter. Basically, it just had a picture of Pops and moving forward, never back. So we can assume that we're moving forward to a second season. I didn't get a specific on a release date. Probably sometime late 2017 to mid 2018 was speculation. Netflix, like HBO or like a lot of premium shows, doesn't necessarily work on a year to year schedule. They're kind of pushing some things around, moving some things. So some stuff will be released sooner rather than later, and other stuff won't. So we'll just kind of have to work within what they're giving us. This does not surprise me in the least, because the superhero movies on Netflix are some of the better television on television. On television recently. So that's kind of cool. I mean, and unfortunately, small spoiler here, Cottonmouth was actually one of my more favorite, or I should say better, villains in recent memory. Kingpin's still good. The guy from Jessica Jones, man, I am failing today on names. David Tennant on Jessica Jones, his character, he was solid. So I'm happy that they're pumping out good villains, good storylines, good acting, and different things like that. So yeah, if they want to take a little more time, in the meantime, I'm excited for Iron Fist in the future. So as we have some time left, geez, we have a lot of time left. Well, I got through that quickly, guys. Well, maybe this is just kind of how I'm going to do it recently. Typically, I try to keep it around 20, 25 minutes. I'm at 16:30 right now. Anyways, moving on. Just getting distracted by computers and stuff. I'm going to wrap up with talking about the Westworld season finale. So this was actually something I was thinking about talking about, but I didn't really want to give spoilers. But I'm at the end of the show, so spoiler away. If you don't want to hear it, you can, move on to one of the links or trailers below if you haven't checked those out. But like and subscribe if you liked what I did today. Anyways, Westworld season finale. This is probably now my second favorite show on television. Game of Thrones is number one. Westworld is probably number two. And for very different reasons. Game of Thrones, well, I shouldn't say very different reasons, because when it comes down to like the acting and storytelling, both very good. Game of Thrones is more action oriented though. Westworld is more like thriller, you have no idea what's going on oriented. Now, again, spoilers for those of you who haven't watched it or haven't watched the last episode or haven't watched it at all. There's definitely going to be spoilers for the entire season. A lot of things that we suspected came true, which is cool. That William was the Man in Black. Very cool. That was speculated from about episode 2. Seeing Dolores and her development, that was awesome. My favorite character has probably been Bernard/Arnold. Primarily Bernard, and kind of how his development went. But the craziest thing is, like, it was really cool to see William and the Man in Black kind of transition together, and Dolores wasn't really sure what's going on. But that wasn't really a surprise. The things that were really big surprises were basically Dolores being Wyatt, which I don't know if she was a physical incarnation of the most recent timeline of Wyatt, but at some point in time she was Wyatt. Secondly, when she discovered her consciousness, that was such a cool thing to witness, because they kind of mixed her voice with Ford's voice, with Arnold's voice, and it kind of meshed together just to become her voice. And realizing I've been following myself this entire time, and now as basically a host, as a robot with a robotic mind, has become sentient. Now, what I'm really interested about, though, they didn't cover everything. And I'm probably going to discuss this more in an article, but I want to hear what you guys think right now, actually, if you want to comment. Is Ford actually dead? First of all, that's the big one. Because the biggest thing is when Teresa came down into the cottage where Bernard ended up killing her, Ford has an older piece of equipment that's actually building a body of some sort. They never really discussed that further. So I wonder if Ford either downloaded his consciousness into it, I'm going to say no, but was like almost remotely controlling it at another location. The that's just speculation. The other things that I really want them to touch on in season 2 and further seasons is, what's the world outside of Westworld like, or outside of the other worlds? I want them to explore the other theme parks as well that we're obviously knowing that they're developing. First of all, because the Samurai Park that they walk through, it's either in development or already in progress. And also when Maeve was handed that little piece of paper of where her daughter was, it said Park 1. So that gives it away as well. And then, so I want to know what the world is like outside. What year is it? Is Westworld even on planet Earth? That's been speculated that it could be on Mars. So, I mean, we're talking about a massive enclosure. And if you have multiple parks, they're going to have different ecosystems. So it would have to be an enclosure with no living animals in it, because even like the animals are almost completely created. Not sure about the flies, but maybe. And everything like that. So that's super interesting to me. And I'm also interested in transcendence or transference of mind, human mind into a host mind. So basically you're immortal at that point in time. I would like them to eventually explore that. Tell me what your thoughts are, specifically in regards to Westworld, but also in regards to this video in general. Do you like what I talk about? Do you not like what I talk about? Typically talk about news things. Kind of went on a tangent there with Westworld because that's a show I really enjoy. So again, tell me what you think. I'd love to hear about it. I want to try to cater to my fans, the few that I have, to see what you guys want me to talk about. Again, like and subscribe below. You can check out other original content at cheapshotcinema.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or Twitter at cheapshotcinema. Just on Facebook, search Cheap Shot Cinema. I'm really happy you guys showed up. I missed out on last week, but I'm going to try to continue to do this on a weekly basis. Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll post videos. So keep me in the loop. Keep in your YouTube loop. And I'll try to keep you in the loop of what I'm interested in doing. So that was kind of odd. But that's going to be it for me. I'm going to wrap up. Thanks again for showing up, and you guys have a great day.